healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
I'm so thrilled. I'm
We did
thrilled
it.
for life.
Another week.
Another week has come and gone, and we're all still the same. Maybe some of you have had, maybe you've had some highs, maybe you've had some lows.
Well, I have to tell you, this weekend was like, it's the baby shower weekend is what we just went through.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste a lot of my energy on this episode because we will do a recap.
Yes, we're going to do a recap of the
But
baby
some
shower.
really highs and lows that happened more than I expected.
Yes, same.
And it all started like days before the bridal or baby shower had to happen.
I could see that. I could see because I checked in with you a bit before and you were like, why are we doing this? And I was like, it's okay. It's going to be great. And then I think when you came into the baby shower, you saw that it was gorgeous and perfect. And the aesthetics were very
Yeah, it was
on
fine, and
point.
I was always I had two personality types that are very strong in my life that are the ones
Yeah.
that were making it happen. That
Yes.
they give me hives.
And I was there kind of as a helper friend. I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'll plan the baby shower. And I was like, I've been relegated to assisting.
You took the best out of it. It's like, why fight it?
Oh my gosh. I actually at that point, because of my flight and being crazed, running in like a crazed person, smelling, not having showered, I was like, I don't need to. And then I could smell myself at the baby shower. I was like, maybe it was a mistake to wake up, get on a flight, take a cab from JFK, and then come here with no bathing.
Extreme humidity happening.
Yeah,
This
like, who do I
weekend's
think I
weather
am?
was-
Mila Kunis?
Which we could also talk about
that.
them.
We're going to get into that because I was spouting some topical facts at the baby shower. And people were like, this is not appropriate.
I know. Okay. Yes, we will
We're
definitely
gonna
have
get
a
into it
baby
more.
shower recap because
Yeah.
it felt like a wild weekend for some reason when it
Yes.
really wasn't, and everything was fine.
It was fine, but it was also fully a lady journey. It was an emotional roller coaster, and we'll get into it. So stay tuned. That's coming up on our next episode. But I wanted to start off doing a couple stone dedications because we did have, of course, some new amazing Patreon people, and I wanted to say thank you so much for joining the Patreon. You are a rock. You are our rock.
Yes.
And you are making it possible for us to have a sound engineer, which is so
The next step to success.
that's the next step. And then now we just need to get the numbers. We got so tell a friend. But thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to Adriana. Adriana, thank you so much for joining the Patreon. You are a queen. You are a goddess. You are a lady. And I have chosen for you an amethyst. Now, the amethyst relieves stress, strain, and it opens intuition. And I'm a little stressed out today, so I'm hoping
put it in your
that
third
it
eye.
works. Yeah,
Block your
just
third eye.
swallow it.
Yeah.
That'll do it. So thank you so much. And then I also have for Becky, for you, we have chosen this beautiful piece of aquamarine, courtesy of our good friend Jacob E. Downey, who has stopped commenting on the YouTube, but I hope he's okay. He's fallen off.
Buried underneath his rocks.
He is faceting some stones. Thank you again, Jacob, for these beautiful stones. I love aquamarine. This is one of my favorite semi-precious stones. I just love the
pretty.
color of it. It's so
I think
gorgeous.
I like blue.
I love blue.
I like light blues.
I love this color. I wanted to get this for like an engagement ring, but I think like it's a weird choice for an engagement ring stone.
Things are changing in that department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like also maybe like an ombre of like different colored pieces,
Yes.
stones. But this one's for Becky. And Becky, we want to say thank you so much for joining the Patreon. Aquamarine promotes self-expression. It calms fears and it increases confidence. So enjoy your day of feeling like you're on top, Becky. You're doing great. And actually, this is very exciting for us because this is our 100th Lady Journey episode.
And is it in the sitcom world? Is this where we get to go into, what do they call it when you go into syndication?
Oh, yes. We're now being syndicated on YouTube.
Because yes, we can make passive income.
Yes.
I like to think that, I wish that we were on ABC programming.
Oh my gosh, they would love us.
But you know what I was thinking? So Drew Barrymore is getting shit for
I heard about that, yeah.
doing her show without writers and moving on throughout the strike. And I was like, and she's like, I'm not going to have any actors on or anything like that. And you're like, that's basically what we're doing right now on Lady Journey.
Yeah. Drew, come aboard.
Come aboard. Where I'm like, oh, I think she's just doing a podcast.
She's just doing a podcast, and so many celebrities are doing podcasts now, which I find hilarious because it was like, this was the medium of the common person.
Yes.
Go back to your TV show.
The strike sometimes kind of can annoy me where you're like, can you go back to your space?
Yeah, please go back to your celebrity island. Okay. It's really funny. I do love like running into a famous person because they love to have an idea that they are like, oh, I can like hobnob, you know? I can hobnob. Hey guys. It's like, you're a millionaire, please.
Yeah,
let me sit here with my tiny salad.
That was during like pandemic when they were all at home not knowing how to be the center of attention.
Oh, yeah, singing to us, in the arms of the angel. It's like, okay.
That is something lately that I feel like now the general public has been turned against celebrities.
Oh, yeah, we love it.
In a hard way. Well, you start realizing they are Looney Tunes.
They're nuts. And the other thing, too, is I was talking with somebody about this. Maybe I was saying it on this show. It's like we all kind of have this delusion that like celebrity is like the highest plane of existence in America, where it's like you can go from being a normal person to being a godlike figure like Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
And so it's like, of course we want to tear those people down because we're all trying to be celebrities.
Yeah, we're trying to get into that space.
And if I can't have it, neither can you. Ashton Kutcher with your video, and I love the celebrities too now. They're just kind of, everything is kind of like, oh yeah, there's no set, there's no makeup, we're just hot people in our homes.
That one, I like that. We'll go into that one too, where you're like, did you guys just shoot and go? Like
they
didn't even look at it. Looked like they had just woken up.
Yes,
and
they went
like,
for the Gen
what?
Z shake. Like, oh hey guys,
yeah, like. I was like, I know that you're trying to come off authentic, but this seems like you're, I don't know.
I just would love a level of polish to the people that we have chosen to be our Greek gods. Like, if I have to get Botox, then Mila has to brush her hair.
Yeah.
Okay? That's all I'm asking for. But yes, and that was you know, of course we're talking about the Danny Masterson trial, who I keep misnaming him. I'm like, Jack McMasters was he's not a celebrity that I have ever thought of in years and years.
And
but
to the fact where you're like, how does he afford a house in Hollywood if I don't know who he is?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's been in like many like little teeny tiny bits over the years, but you know, you feel bad about your career and you're like, well, that guy,
yeah,
he
luck.
didn't really do that great, and then he raped. So anyway, moving on.
We're on our way to celebrity with our 100th episode.
Yes, we sure
one's
are.
canceled us yet,
and nobody will, because you can't try to get us to say something controversial, because we love everything.
I know. Also, like, good luck trying to cancel us because we are uncancelable.
Yeah, who's gonna fall off?
What are you gonna take away our YouTube channel?
Yeah, you can't take anything from us
because we have nothing,
and we're also people pleasers. So whatever you think, we think.
And all I can promise you is that I will give you an amazing apology.
Yeah. Oh yes.
You guaranteed.
I mean, people are going to stay on this podcast at least to get the apology for the birth.
Yes.
I'm sorry that I yelled the C word as I was delivering. You're getting an induction soon. You were just saying you have to schedule it.
I have to schedule it, and it should be an errand that should be number one before anything else. And I'm treating it as if I'm going to the post office. It's where you're like, ugh, just fucking give me a date and I'll show up.
Just get it out of there.
Yeah. So we'll see. But we've had a lot of highs and lows.
We want to do a recap of some of our highs and lows of behind the scenes of Lady Journey that maybe you guys didn't know about because we never told you.
Yes.
Just like the time we took the Staten Island ferry to the house of a celebrity who has his own podcast. It was the podcast called
Taste Buds.
Taste Buds.
And they have nothing to do with the low.
They were not the low point at all. That was the high.
We left there thinking, wow, we've arrived. Here we come.
We said we just kicked off some magic in there. We were zinging. Sal Volcano was not there. It was just us, Joe DeRosa, and the homeless pimp.
And we made him laugh.
Oh my gosh, we were having a good old time. And then the hate comments started. Actually, I should read some of these because, maybe now, hopefully, watch this like really upset me and put me in a bad place. I'm like, hey, it's a year later. It'll be hilarious. And I'm like, why would someone write that?
Well, I get sometimes an email from people and I'm like, God, that was rude. And then I've gone back 2 hours later to reread it because I need to get the instructions from it. And I was like, you know what? This is actually a pretty normal email and they're not demanding. And these are normal responses. That I was like, I must have read this early on in the morning when I just didn't want to deal with it.
That's so funny. I know. I've been kind of trying to work with myself. I read it again. I've been talking about this book on here, but it really changed my life. It's called The Mountain Is You, or You Are the Mountain. Google both. We can't be sure. But it was talking about, we all kind of play this game that we're like psychic because you think you feel something and then you create this interpretation of it, or like you're like, I have a bad feeling, that means my mom is in trouble. It's like, no, your stomach is hurting.
Yeah.
Okay,
you're just hungry. Eat something. That's what generally most things they say, especially in 12-step program, anytime you're feeling like immense feelings, it's like sometimes you're just tired, so you should go take a nap, or you're hungry. Or the other one I think is like horny. So like go masturbate. But it's just one of those things where you're like, a lot of the problems in your life aren't that big of a deal.
And if we could just stop, that's what You Are the Mountain is about. Like, stop self-sabotage, stop the cycle of self-sabotage. But easier said than done.
Yes.
Now, actually, as I'm going through some of these comments, a lot of these comments are really positive. Love that you had Lady Journey ladies in. Great episode. I love the guests in the episode. You can tell by the sexism in the political comments from this short clip that nobody watched the episode. LOL. That's nice. And this one wrote, I think this might be the worst episode yet. And I love Taste Buds, but my God, this was tough to listen to.
Well, I also think some of that was anger. This is where I'm projecting again.
Yes.
That Sal wasn't there.
Sal was not there, but
they
had a baby
are missing their lord.
Yes, they're missing their edgelord, Sal Volcano, who is the cleanest of clean.
On bagels.
Yeah. Yeah. Oops, excuse me. Of course, that's my birth control alarm, which has gone off every episode for the past year and a half, I think.
I know. I'm like, when are you taking your birth control?
I'm not taking it. I've barely taken it lately. I feel like
every episode I'm like, why is her birth control going off and she's never done anything about it?
Yeah, I just because I've never actually been pregnant, and at this point I'm 37. I'm like, we got to test the waters here. We got to test the waters. Now, here's a good one. So
I think Facebook is where some of the hate is from, right?
Yeah, these ones, we did get a lot of hateful ones on Instagram. We got a lot of, no one knows who these people are. People want to watch Sal and Joe yell at each other, not some diplomatic plugging of your comic buddies. It's like, what do you think is going on? Yikes, 2 comedians on this episode who should find different career paths. But you know what's really fun is because I love to look at the profiles of people when they write heinous shit. This guy's, his bio is clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. California to Nevada to Florida.
Just spreading that positive love out there.
It's wild. It's like, yeah, like you're a hateful... Can't lie.
It's like the Christian woman as well. Like, like only the Lord can judge. And then they're out there just ripping it on Instagram comments.
Yeah. And also some people were, because the clip was where we said we don't like Twinkies.
Yeah, like nothing.
Well, we had to choose a strong take. It's like, I mean, I guess I'll eat one. It's not my favorite food. That I'm not going to eat a Twinkie just there.
Yeah.
It's not a great snack, but people were really upset that we took a strong stance against Twinkies. This says, what the fuck are you talking about? They taste like vanilla and cream, you stupid fucks. It's like, that got 17 likes. You know, it's like, I'm sorry I triggered you with my edgy comment
of Twinkies.
Yeah.
It's vanilla and cream. You're like, I like that we're called stupid fucks.
I know. As I'm reading these now, and I have had so many heinous comments as I was like focusing on my social media over the past year that now I'm kind of desensitized to it. And I really enjoy looking at the person's profile because it's like, you know, it's like a guy it's like the page of a man's small business. It's like, you're harassing me through your drywalling company.
Yeah. It also feels like the people that also leave those comments, you look at their profile, it's always the beach family photo.
Yes, it's like, don't bring your kids into this, Ralph.
The family that travels to Destin, Florida and does that stereotypical...
Yeah, or like Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. Where everybody's blonde.
Everyone's blonde. But you know what?
And
enjoy
then they're
yourself.
Like, you dumb C words.
Yeah. You guys aren't entertaining me. You guys are not entertaining me because you're not famous. And that's what I've come here for.
Can you just imagine finding out your dad is just... I'd rather find out that my dad like does... you know, like drugs or something, or has been embezzling from his company.
Cool. Drugs are cool. I know. It's so funny because it's like you go to events like your big family Thanksgiving and you're like, someone here is a troll. Someone here has trolling behavior.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a whodunit.
Yes. Who's been leaving comments on random people's posts?
We got a fun one today, actually, on the episode that we had with Gail. It said, try to keep saying like. I guess we said like too many times.
Guys always throw that out a lot. I always thought Jacqueline Novak in her one woman show, Get on Your Knees, had the best retort to that because she was getting it from like one of her boyfriend's dads.
Yeah.
And her quip back was like, well, sometimes I have to throw stones into the river so you can have a stepping stone to land on to get through the wave of intelligence that I'm throwing at you.
Yes. Yeah. And that's absolutely what we're doing.
Well, it's also unfair. I've talked about this a lot lately. Like, a lot of women get shit on for maybe like vocal frying or the way that we speak. But there's a lot of male comics that vocal fry, and I will name names if you ask.
I think it's just misogyny. It's like, you just don't like women.
Yes.
You dislike us because we're women talking, and you feel off put by it, but you can't admit to yourself that you don't like women. So instead, you're like, well, these women are using the word like too much.
Yeah,
and that's why I can't stand them. And it's like, okay, well, we're just speaking in an organic way
and trying to collect your thoughts because we're trying to put this, you know, on the fly.
Yes, it's a free form. It's a free form experience here, and also it's not like we're like, there I was in the valley with my girl Trish, and we, you know, it's like we're here presenting ourselves as normal women.
Completely aggravating. But you get that kind of hate. I find it the most on Facebook.
Yes, the Facebook where the boomers are.
The boomers, it's boomer men and boomer women.
Yes, the culture shock of
it runs a little slightly more to the right. I feel like on Facebook.
Yes, yeah. They are there to get info on the vaccine. And no, not that we dislike our boomer fans.
Yes,
if you're a baby boomer and you follow Lady Journey, we love you.
We are speaking in generalization, of course, but it is the demographic that I've noticed because I'll handle other people's social media accounts on Facebook, and it's also I see other comics getting just as much hate.
Yeah.
In the Facebook world.
Yes.
But I find even when you put a mundane, like if you haven't said anything about sex.
Yes.
Or anything like that, you're still getting like, you're just a dumb bitch that doesn't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, it's like, I don't take issue with anything you've said, but I can't stand you personally. You're like, yes. I'll change. Now, that was not the lowest low of 2022 for us, I will say. I think the lowest low was when we went to St. Louis to do the Nikki Glazer Lady Journey Live.
We were ecstatic.
We were ecstatic that
we were grateful that Nikki took the time, and she was so
gracious.
Gracious, yes.
So fun, so
professional,
hilarious,
showed up and gave great content for us.
Hilarious on the podcast. Did us a huge favor, and we were just so blown away. We blew it pretty badly. Well, it actually wasn't us, because when we got there, we did say to the sound guy, this was again at the Helium Comedy Club in St. Louis.
Yes, I don't care if that bridge is burned for me.
Well, I don't think it's burning a bridge by saying what happens.
Just stating facts.
Just stating a light fact that we asked the sound guy that we had hired, the video guy that we had hired, and we also asked the sound guy if everything was okay and we were ready to go, and if they needed any help from us. And we asked that about 17 times.
And we also showed up, I believe, almost 2 hours early.
2 hours early. We said, we'll get Cheesecake Factory after.
We did, yeah.
Which we did.
3 times or 2 times.
and then come to find out at the end of the podcast episode, when we were like, oh my God, thank God that went so well. We were nervous.
That again was like, we have arrived. We know what we're doing.
Yes. Lady Journey we're off to the races, because we put so much time and energy into booking the venue, planning the travel. Then we did a lot of
collaboration.
We did collabs with local businesses to get people in the door. And
I thought you did a really great job. I thought we had enough people for each show. Yes, that I thought was viable.
And we met some amazing women who I'm trying to think of the Golden Gems was one shop that worked with us in the St. Louis area. They are so fantastic, and their stuff was so cool, and we got to go to the shop. And then also the
collective one where iHeartRadio was.
St. Louis Women's Collective. I forget the name.
Making that up.
I made that up.
But
it's going to come to me. It's going to come to me, and I will, because I want to plug them on here because they were so fantastic.
Super nice, and I actually liked all the products that they were selling from the artisans that
we bought so
represented.
Much. Oh, they had great stuff there. It was fantastic.
But we do the show. We're like this. Katie, we were amazing out there.
Yeah, we did. We were riffing. We had questions. We were on our way back up after not being booked for the Betches thing that we were in consideration for. That was, I think this was when we
find out about, we thought we were still in contention.
Yeah. But we felt like things are taking off for us. And then that was when they told us that they did not record the sound at all. And I love the way that they told us. They were like, you know what? We have a lot of issues with the soundboard here. So this has been a known issue, and they knew that we had issues. It's like, but why, when I said, are you guys okay? Or do you have anything that you need? Like, why wouldn't you say about the issue then? Because that was the point in which we could have fixed this. Also, somehow.
We had enough time. If they were like, we don't have a soundboard, we could have gone back to the hotel, at least picked up our Zoom mic.
Yes, we could have at least recorded the sound to have it.
Yes, and blended it with the video.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing. Like, the video guy was great, but didn't he... When I reflect back on it, I remember that guy being kind of slightly annoyed with us in the beginning.
He was kind of defensive.
Yes,
I wasn't sure what was... But he was like, these guys don't even know what they're doing. It's like, well, again, that would have been so useful to us the hour before the show. Yes. In which we had checked in with everybody and been like, he was also like, good to go. Everyone was like, good to go, ladies. Like, get out there. We're like, great. You guys are amazing. And then afterwards, it was like, I don't know what went wrong, but you're like blaming. You ladies needed to show up early and get your ducks in a row. It's like,
We did.
And it's so funny because it's like, oh, I guess the message is don't trust anyone when they say that they have it.
That was the life lesson, is like, next time it's like, I need to hear the soundboard and I need to do a sound test.
Yes. Next time.
Also, the other thing too is, like, at the end of the night when we tallied up. I think we left there. I think we only made for the full weekend with the shows that we did 2 nights prior.
Yes.
Something like $20. Wasn't it something ridiculous? It wasn't even viable.
We did not. We broke even exactly on the house for the Sunday show because we were doing a door deal, which we did have we had 70 people there probably.
I thought it was a decent turnout, more than they would, or probably around the same that they would have for a Sunday show.
Yes. And, we weren't expecting it to be full. But it's not like they made money. So we got $0 for doing the show. And then we had gone to the weekend there before, and we did the Friday show, the Saturday show, which we just split down the middle, and we each got $400 for doing that. And then no travel money. So I think we went in the hole and then we also paid the video guy $400. So that was a low point. It was a high and then immediately followed by a low.
But and that's...
I love Lexus just writhing in his chair back there.
Well, it's just one of those things where you're like, how is it that I'm watching everyone in our podcast world thriving?
Yeah, I think it's an illusion. I think that when you have a small business, you take big risks. You take risks, and it's like we did get some eyes on the podcast from having Nikki on. But I also think now in retrospect, I'm like, okay, we didn't need to go on a journey. It's funny, looking back, you're like, okay, yes, there's time and energy was kind of thrown out into the universe in a chaotic way, and it did not pay off.
No, and there was so many levels of unprofessionalism. Even for the shows, we had an MC that was very, very sweet guy, but I believe was fucking wasted and called white women cum dumpsters.
Yes,
and then we're like, hello.
Yeah.
Here's our show.
Hi there.
We're the cum dumpsters.
Hi. Yes, I did unfriend him. I blocked him after that.
He also brought a date, and they took every food home to go.
Yes, they did not stay for the show. It's so funny.
And in the meantime, we're on stage. I can hear one of the servers just watching TikTok videos on full volume
on her phone, and
in the showroom.
We're trying to keep it afloat with about 15 people in there. Or actually, I feel like did we have?
I think we did better than.
We had okay for the show. Yeah, our shows were fine, but of course, then we could also hear Ashley Gavin, who was in the big room that night, destroying, and we could see that she was making $15,000 of sales and merch.
Yes, just lines out the door.
Love Ashley. Love what you're doing.
Yes,
love it. Love it. Nothing against Ashley. We're happy for your success. But we're in the small room doing the comedy that matters. Okay.
We kept hearing the kitchen door open to her showroom, and it just sounded like we were at SeaWorld.
Yes,
people
it did.
Losing their shit as if there's seals in there balancing stuff on their nose.
Oh, they loved her.
Yeah.
And we love her too. And this is not, she deserves success, but we would also like some. We would
None
love
of that
some.
dripped off onto us.
Yeah, she did say hi. She said hi, and she was super gracious.
But I will say the staff was really nice. I just felt like so many levels of unprofessional behavior on that.
We're not putting them on blast. It's nobody's fault that happened, but it was just a low point for us.
But I've heard that is the.
Have you heard that?
Yes.
Wow.
So there you go.
Well, let's edit that out. Let's edit that out because I want to continue working there, but I'll send a note to you about that, Lex. But moving on.
I'm okay to burn that bridge.
Moving on.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. This is behind the scenes.
Yes.
No one needs to know. We'll keep that in for the Patreon. What did we have?
Then we
did our
every
glow
year
up.
we did a glow up, and then there is video of Katie, time lapse of Katie glowing up in the studio, and then I had a little mental breakdown with the pregnancy.
Yes, so
and
I
you
set
can
the
see
camera
Katie
up.
working, and then all of a sudden, for a good 3 seconds, you can see her being like this.
Yes, Sarah. Now that was when you were because that was last year, right before we went into season 2, I remember. So you were kind of struggling with, you were doing the hormones but then you kept missing the date.
Yes.
To get the extract.
I kept
to get the
secretly ovulating.
Yes. And that was a tough time. I remember.
Well, it was just, yes, but it's just funny to be in the glow up and you're crying.
Yes, that was a great day. The glow up that's one of my favorite Lady Journey moments. I feel like the hardest part of season 1 or season 2, I think, has been the first trimester for you.
Yeah, that was brutal because I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah, because I came in, I remember you were laying on the bed down here. I'm like, how are you doing? You were like, bad.
Well, it was just, you want to throw up, you're tired, your brain feels like it's like covered in saran wrap and just tightly shrink wrapped because you're like, it just feels like you have a lot on your mind. And then at the same time, you can't really tell anybody. Somebody said it was like, it's like you have a Victorian disease at that time where you're like, what's wrong with Sarah? And you're like, she has to lay down.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know. You're keeping it to yourself and people are like, are you okay? And you're like, I guess. Yeah. I have a secret. Okay. What do you want me to say? I'm growing a life inside of me and it's depleting. Which,
I understand why people don't say why, because you do have miscarriages happen and then it's just weird.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the same when not the same, but it is the same. Always when you ask somebody how their relationship's going, it's at the moment when it's on the fritz.
You can tell that they've broken up the moment you get out the other person's name.
Yeah.
And you're like, how's Sarah? And they're like, she's left me years ago. Like, okay. Do you want to talk about it or no?
All right, moving on.
Oh my gosh. But we've had so many amazing moments. We had our eco journey, which, now we're kind of, I'm still in an eco-conscious state, but I do think that becoming eco, doing eco topics, and then also really going into a space where you're like trying to live in an eco-conscious way for an extended period of time. You're like, oh wow, this is hard. This is really challenging.
You can't do it unless you're Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes. You have to have the time and the energy and the money.
Because it's like we were talking about the baby shower and like, yes, didn't want like paper invitations and all that stuff. But my sister was like, it's so funny. Everything that we've used here, it's just we have to throw it away. Right. And it's not really usable again. So it's just like leaving a huge carbon footprint. All the gifts are just given to you through Amazon. So like we're ripping through jet fuel. Yeah.
To have a bra, like a bottle warmer, like delivered to you. And then also it's true. It's like when you have a party, it's like, oh, are we supposed to bring our own plates?
Yes.
And then we're going to wash them in the sink at the venue and then carry them back on our back via the subway.
Yeah. You're like,
which we did bring our own serving dishes.
Yeah. When you go on an eco journey, you're getting people involved in your mental illness. You guys need to bring your own plates.
Yes. Everyone bring your own plate in with you and your own silverware.
Yeah. Like, it feels like a lot it's almost like when you're on a diet and you go to other people's places like the holiday season and you're like, I can only eat this.
I can only eat cranberries.
Like, I need you involved in my eating disorder now.
Yes. Yeah. You will accommodate me. You will accommodate me. Well, the baby shower was, again, we'll get into that later. But yes, it was definitely a big carbon footprint.
But I still go on the eco journey. I'm actually really happy with my dishwashing instead of sponges. I use the brushes with wooden handles.
Yes, and I have one too that you gave me, and I love it. I love scrubbing away. You just scrub it on the soap, and then you scrub it in the dish. And
and the soap lasts longer than the actual bottled soap.
Way longer, and also it doesn't cause you to have issues with your own body. Because that was one of the things I had seen a show about, these different soaps and things like that. Like these chemicals mess with your hormones.
Yes.
And they can cause, if you're a lady who's trying to get pregnant, I think it's called BPAs, right?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and
that's new.
One of my friends just asked me for a recommendation from Curious Elixirs because she's trying to get pregnant. And I said, I said, you need the adaptogens.
Oh, I had no idea.
Shout out.
We should talk about that one too.
Well, the Curious Elixir live show, I felt went really well, although there was
fun. That was also in the middle of first trimester.
Yes, that was first trimester. And then that one we had issues with the camera. So my favorite moment of that one was when Lex was like, oh, he had asked me to bring a cord, which I said I had. I was like, okay, I dashed home to get it. I bring it. I hand him to it. He's like, this is not that cord. He's like, that's not what this is. We had another friend like dash to the store.
Yes. And then we didn't even use it. We didn't even use it. Then we found Lily let us borrow a mic.
Yes, we also forgot the other microphone.
That's the other thing in Lady Journey. It's surprisingly a lot of tech issues.
Yes, there's a lady. We're ladies, okay? We're not tech ladies, and that is something that we've had to learn and grow through this process. That has been a nightmare.
Yes,
but in a fun way.
But now I know more about like HDMI cables, female to male parts.
Yes.
What you need to an XLR cable. How you get live programming. I've now know how to produce a podcast, so I will pivot to that in the future.
We will start we are going to brand ourselves as a podcast. So if you want to start a podcast, all you need to do is listen to our podcast, join our Facebook group, and then buy our stuff.
But you know what I get? I do feel like we get complimented on our shorts.
We do. A lot of people,
our little reels.
People love us. People, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. We have a fan base on the reels. And I'm like, well, we have a podcast.
Yes, please follow it.
We're not just reels.
And please like and subscribe. And please help us celebrate the 100th anniversary by leaving us a review on iTunes.
Yes.
Just something nice.
Just to let us know that you listened.
Oh, we did have the guy. I'm going to wrap up here. Well, let's end on this one. Because we had a guy, we did talk about this in the Patreon, but I had a guy who found my work via Sarah's husband, Joe, via a sketch that I was in. And he was a big supporter of the podcast, commenting. He then showed up at one of my shows with a giant poster.
I know who this is because I've seen him at the Joe show and
I took a photo in case my body went missing.
Northwest State.
Oh, yes. You had also met the guy at a different show.
Yes.
That's right.
A little intense, but was always very
Seemed normal, but did give me a big box of many gifts which felt inappropriate. And also he had a big poster of Lady Journey that he was waving as I went out, and I had to look at him holding it the entire time I was on stage. I was just like, oh my God. But when people are kind, you're like, oh great. I didn't see it as a red flag. I thought that this was a fan, and now I'm finally reaching my audience. Until the day that I woke up to him having written a, dare I say, psychotic email to my boyfriend.
And I think it landed on our comments in Lady Journey.
I think he must have forwarded it to Lady Journey too. Oh, he sent us a podcast. He sent the email to Lady Journey letting us know that he could no longer support Lady Journey or our comedy individually.
Yeah.
Because Mike Vecchione, my boyfriend, had made inflammatory statements against Irish people of Irish American heritage.
Just a light roasting. The usual of the heavy drinking where you're like, are you surprised by this?
Right. Mike is a clean comic, and he did leave a transcription of the offensive things that Mike was saying, which it was like Irish, they're drinking and punching and drinking. And
where you're like, not even YouTube thought this was offensive, which has gotten a little bit more sensitive these days.
Yeah, it was never flagged. And then he also took, he had sent emails to every place that Mike was booked, and also reported him to one of the places that he reported him was the Irish Bar Owners Association of New York.
He's hurting Mike. He's got Mike's Achilles tendon. Ireland.
He's got him, yeah. And the Irish.
Because he's always going over there.
You know how he's always performing in the Irish bars and in Ireland itself. I also found it so hilarious because it's like I am clearly of Irish heritage. My name is Katie Hannigan. I don't know of any. It couldn't be more Irish if it was like Shillelagh.
Yeah,
Shillelagh McDrinkin.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I wasn't sure if he was trying to get closer to me by alienating Mike and making
as if you were like,
How
you sent
dare
him
he?
a separate email being like, thank you for addressing this.
Thank you so much for standing up to my abusive boyfriend. He's been saying he hates potatoes around the house. Now that was a fun one. So there's been so many ups and downs on this wild ride of Lady Journey, but we thank you for sticking around and staying with us.
Here's the thing though, a lot of the times, and this is generally in life, like sometimes the downs really hurt.
Yes.
But there's something really humorous in it all, and it allows us to recap at the end of the day and just really roast everyone that hurt.
Oh yes, yes. That's the one of the most wonderful things about having humor and having kind of like a darkness to your life is like you get to detach from it by being like, well, that guy's a freaking asshole.
Yeah, that was behavior I've never seen before.
Yeah,
but
that was wild.
Let's talk about that for an hour and have a good time.
Yeah, it's like we're a fly on the wall living the life of a woman in America. But actually we are.
Well, it reminds me of like that David Tell joke where he was like, do you ever have a friend that you shit on so hard that you want to thank him for the good times?
Yes, I love that joke.
That's what I feel like with a lot of the down times where you're like, I just actually want to thank you for the amount of roast jokes that we wrote about you.
Yes, we want to thank everyone who has shit on us on Instagram through their vape company's Instagram page. We want to thank
their pool cleaning companies.
Yes. I hope you're thriving out there, Martin. And thank you for listening to Lady Journey, everybody. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and here's to 100 more.
Yes. Cheers.